I'm a firm believer that success leaves clues in all areas of life, right? Whether it's in personal relationships, business, content. There's a reason why something did well. There's a reason why something performed. There's a reason why somebody became successful. And so because of that, my theory was it should be the exact same thing when it comes to content. If there's videos on social media that have already gone viral that I can now take, reformat them and make it my own, whether it's for my own personal brand or for my client's brand, and that's something that should definitely be tested, right? And so one of the key things that we did here with this client, intentionally we shot every single piece of content just directly off the iPhone. Think about how like UGC is right now for like social media for brands wanting to promote their products. They hire obviously talent that's just a creative. It's all shot on an iPhone, so it looks a little bit more raw. So now I took that concept and then applied EGC, which is employee generated content, so that the characters are consistent. Also too, it's like, how can we make it so that the people that end up going to these physical locations, how can the people feel like they know, like, and trust them, right? So perfect example, we create content that's, driven by the actual employees that, actually work at the location. What I decided to do is find some of the best performing videos, right? And people always kind of ask me like, oh, what tools do you use? How do you kind of find them? For me personally, it's a feeling. Whenever I'm on social media, there's always going to be skits that pop up here and there. So my mind is always like, okay, is this a video that caught my attention that I can now take to either implement into my business or into one of my clients' business? And then if so, then I just save that and create like a custom folder within my IG profile and just took these concepts, gave them a twist that now we're in line with my client's product, his business, and his brand. Within the first month, we had over 100 million views, which is crazy, right? Those are some of my best performing videos that I've ever done for a client. The reason why we formulated, the package the way that we did, which was 9,000 for 24 pieces of content, was because you need volume, right? You need to be able to test, especially right now with social media. There's so much content being put out that if you're just relying on 5 posts as you're doing this service for a client, it really isn't going to do much for them, right? They might get a couple views here and there, but there really isn't a consistency to develop a brand and to be able to become a local authority that they want to become, right? That's where the actual business and the revenue comes in. So because of that, these 24 pieces of content are super crucial because now it allows the viewer and the consumer to see it as in like, yo, like this person is actually developing a brand. They're going all in into social media. So it creates this attention that's like, hey, you know what? Let me continue to watch this person. I want to see what's going to unfold. So that creates that expectation of content. On the social media portion of it, when it comes to performance, now we have 24 pieces of content that are going to allow for us to be able to post content on social media and allow for those to perform, right? Think about it from this perspective. If you're only offering 24 videos at the length of a year for any given client, well, you only really have 24 opportunities to have one of those videos perform or to give you enough data on what will actually perform for that specific client. Versus how we do it, we do 24 pieces of content in a single month. That gives us 24 opportunities to be able to understand in a shorter amount of time frame what my clients or what your client's audience wants to see, right? So we took that formula, and again, because of that, we were able to generate over 100 million views, within the first month, and then continue to generate millions of views even after that, right? And so it's all intentional based. It isn't just theory of like, hey, you're trying to do 24 because you're trying to charge more. It's like, yes, there's obviously a correlation of price point because you're offering more deliverables, but the biggest thing is the performance. Because if, let's say, again, like I said, if you do that over the course of a year, then it's going to take a year for your client to start seeing results. They might get discouraged after a month. They might get discouraged after 2. Now they're going to go and work with somebody else that they're more excited to be able to work with because, again, shiny object syndrome, right? They might see another creative who's doing content a certain way, and now they go over there with them. So with us, it's like, hey, we accelerate. The reason why we have our packages the way that we do is because it allows us to compress the amount of time for outcome. Plus, it allows for us to be able to get the data and the results that we want on a shorter amount of time. I'm pretty sure if you were to tell your client, like, hey, I'll charge you $9,000 over the course of a year for 24 videos, and, you'll get results, maybe 6 months down the road, maybe a year down the road, or You can do the 9 grand now. We'll post a 24 piece of content in a single month, and you'll get the outcome and desire that you want within that single month. Which one do you think your client would more likely take? I'm pretty sure the one that takes the shortest amount of time, right? Obviously, yes, the money is a factor, but me being a business owner, you being a business owner, you would much rather have the outcome happen sooner because you don't want to waste time, energy, effort, and then, add more money to that in the testing process versus doing it on a single hit, like all in 1 month, that generates that result and that outcome that might generate more sales. Now, the other key thing here is the only reason why this format works is because we work with franchises, right? So it's a already established brand. They're already generating the revenue and the money. They just need to park it in another vehicle that's going to be able to accelerate that and what's currently trending right now, which is obviously social media. Same thing with my other clients, right? One of my high ticket coaches, his minimum product is $10,000, right? And so because of that, if my fee retainer is $10,000 per month, it could range anywhere between 5 to 10, whatever that number might be for you. It only takes one person to hire my client for his coaching and consulting, so that it pays for my fee. So I'm only a fraction of a percentage of what they're able to generate, at that, during that month. And so as you're watching this and as you're hearing me say these things, don't think about it as like, well, who's gonna hire me for $9,000? Who has $9,000 just to spend? You're immediately thinking about a mom and pop shop. You're immediately thinking about a beginner real estate agent. You're immediately thinking about a new physical location or a new gym. Like, these aren't these clients for that. Yes, as you're getting these experiences, you can take the exact same package and this strategy so that you're able to have the result, so that whenever you pitch to a person that can actually afford your services long term, you feel confident in what you're delivering because you know it's going to perform, because you've already tried and tested in different areas and different industries that gave you these case studies to feel confident within yourself to be able to charge the 9,000s, to be able to charge the 6,500s, the 8,000s, etc. Right? So I'm not saying you have to immediately take this video and go and pitch it, which ideally, if you have that particular client that you're like, hey, I know where I can fit this in, all power to you. But if you're in the building stages of like, hey, I'm barely building that confidence to be able to get results for my clients through video services, then this could be a package that you can now take for a client that's paying you anywhere between 25, 35, or heck, even an already established client. This is one of the winning formulas that I always tell my guys. It's like, if you have a client that's been with you for a while, that maybe only is paying you $2,000 a month, $1,500 a month, but you know that there's potential there, offer them that service for that fee. Because what's going to happen is that it's going to give you that case study in a shorter amount of time. Number two, if you're able to elevate that client's business, chances are they're going to want to pay you more, because now you're bringing in more revenue back to their business. You could even go on an agreement of like, hey, I would love to offer this to you for 60 to 90 days, 24 pieces of content per month. And at the end of this trial, I would love to revisit, see where your numbers are at, see if I'm able to bring you the business that I know I can bring you. And if that's the case, then now we can talk about a more accurate price point, right? Whether that might be a $5,000 retainer, a $6,500 retainer, a $9,000, depending on how much revenue you're bringing back to the client, then you're able to create a percentage based on the revenue that's coming in through that specific platform, right? Or through, wherever that business is coming from. And so these are the things that I want you to be mindful of. It's very easy to discourage yourself. It's very easy to tell yourself, I can't charge as much, I'm not confident. But there's so many ways. If you don't have the confidence or the case studies, charge cheaper, give them the same amount of piece of content so that you're able to get that case study, right? Number two, if you're only offering single time project videos and you're over here hitting 10K months, 15K months, but then your next month is a $3,000 month, and there's so much volatility that you want that stability in your business, well, maybe hit them with a, hey, like, I know we've been doing X amount of content, let's do a 5K retainer for 15 videos. Let's do a 6,500 retainer for X amount of videos, right? That's going to give you that stability so that then you're able to work on your personal brand, develop the skill sets, hire talent, and be able to take it to that next level to where you're hitting the $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 months, right? There's always a way, but you have to, be able to structure and negotiate your opportunities, right? One of the biggest key things that one of my clients taught me was you are what you can negotiate. Whether that's for you, people hiring you for your services, or you paying somebody to give you a specific service, right? You are what you can negotiate. So however you decide to structure it is on you. Even if a client is paying you a lot less than what you know you should be charging, but you have that case study, whenever you go and take this case study to your next client, you're not gonna be like, yo, like, I was only charging him 1,500. No, it's like you're not going based on what you were charging. You're going based on the deliverables that you're able to, do for the client, right? Based on the results. And so here's one of the key things that I always also want you to consider and always be mindful of. Stop selling videos. Like, videos aren't gonna get you the outcome that you want. You have to sell a system and a structure. If you go to a Alex Hormozi isn't selling you on educational piece of content, right? He's selling you on a framework, a proven formula, and a system that he has already tried and tested over the years in multiple different industries that now you can go and implement to your own business and be able to generate those exact same results. So whenever you're thinking about these packages, don't think about it, hey, I'm just selling videos. No, you're selling a system. You're selling an infrastructure. You're selling something that has already been tried and true, that has already worked in other industries, that now that client that's coming in can just plug and play with your product and your services to be able to get the outcome and the results that they now desire for their own business. Post on TikTok, post on IG, post on YouTube Shorts. This is how you're able to develop that confidence so that now whenever you pitch to a client, this is like clockwork. And now when it's like, well, how do I know this is going to work? Well, based on, this client, here's what we were able to do for them. Based on this client, here's what we were able to do for them. We generated X amount of millions of views. We did this in 90 days. We did this in 60 days. Look at the amount of, they went from this amount of followers to this amount of followers. And so these are the things that you have to consider as you're wanting to scale and grow your content agency. Is stop selling videos, sell a framework, sell a system, sell a proven formula that has been tried and true in multiple different facets and in multiple different industries that give you the confidence to feel confident enough to be able to charge high paying retainer, because you're going to get that client the outcome, right? If you know something is true, then if somebody tells you no, it's like, hey, it's not on me. It might not have been the perfect time, for them to hop on this project, because they might not be there yet in their business, but it has nothing to do with you. And you don't lose confidence to now start to think, I'm not good enough. I'm not talented enough. Maybe it's my equipment, and then you get lost in this equipment, cycle of thinking it's all about the equipment to be able to charge higher paying charges and prices. And it's not. Like, I literally just broke it down to you. If I had the phone with me right now, I would show it to you, but it's literally a cracked iPhone 13 Pro Max, cracked front screen, cracked back screen, wasn't even the latest model, and we were able to generate millions of views, right? And so because of that, these are the things that I want you to be mindful of. It isn't about the gear. It's always about how you can structure it, have a winning formula that's repeatable and scalable. Because if you just offer single time videos, then you're always going to be running around like a chicken with your head cut off, always trying to figure out, what's going to work, or just single time projects. Like, narrow it down to one system, one formula, a specific amount of deliverables, because it's going to allow for you to now be able to deliver a system so that you're able to scale, to hire, $40,000, $50,000 months, because it's a system that now, is taught to your editors. You understand the framework. It can be repeated in any industry and in any niche. And now you plug and play the client to your system instead of recreating a whole new formula and a whole new structure to fit a client's expectations or a client's needs. You already have the formula. You already have the system. This allows for you to be profitable and for you to be able to scale, because again, like I said, now it's not dependent on having to recreate something new time and time and time again. It's just something that you bring the client comes in through the pipeline, you put them into your system, into their infrastructure. Obviously, yes, you're going to make some tweaks and adjustments, minimal, depending on, what their product or their service is. But this is a winning formula that has worked for me time and time again, and here's proof of another one that was a $9,000 package for 24 pieces of content, right? And so anyways, I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments of anything that I might have missed, anything that you want me to explain a little bit further. I'm going to be sharing a lot more game and a lot, for a lot more, things about systems, team building, structuring, offers, client case studies, even some of my students, right? I've been able to take, like, this is crazy. I literally just came off of, an in-person event that I throw for my mastermind students, like the ones that I help, be able to take their video business to 10K plus and above that, right? And so we had an in-person experience. I rented out K1. We did, some races with everybody just for some team bonding. We mastermind, we chopped it up, we had some fun, we had some food. But one of my students, Brandon, shout out to Brandon, he literally just joined about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. He's about to hit his first time ever $27,500 cash collected in his video business. And I want you to really be mindful of this. He had never hit 10K months in his video business. He was working a regular job, and he was thinking that he was going to have to sell a bunch of $400 videos to be able to hit 10K months. And we were able to do that in a matter of a couple of months. And not just that, but we were able to surpass his goal that he had of 10K. He's about to hit a $27,500 month because of the things that we were able to break down, restructure his business, find a winning concept. He already had some clients paying him lower fees, but we instead packaged, structured, offer that service, and it was a no-brainer for the clients, right? And so again, I want to give a huge shout out to Brandon. And if you're somebody that wants to be able to take your video business, your content agency to 10K months, if you haven't yet already touched that, or if you have and you're tired of hitting a 10K month and then going back down to 2 to 3 to 4 and having that inconsistency, you want something that's more stable, I'm gonna leave the link down below so that you can join the Content to Cash community, where we have in-person events. It's a community. It's not just a course, right? This is a perfect place where you have access to me to be able to ask questions directly based on specific scenarios. I help you build your personal brand. I'll help you set up your ads to be able to start generating more leads. We have a winning framework on how to nurture a lead that might come from social media, how to talk to them, how to get them on a call, how to close them, how to service them, how to build a team, how to offload that work over to an editor so you're not stuck in the business and you're able to create more personal brand content to be able to take your business to the next level. If that's something that you might be interested in, I'm going to leave the first link down below so that you can check us out, Content to Cash. I hope to see you inside. And if you have any specific questions, just feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram at Your Social Media Guy. Oh, also too, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna be posting a lot more on here. And second link that I'm gonna be leaving down below is gonna be a freebie if you're a newer videographer and wants to learn how to land more consistent leads between $1,500 to $2,000 projects. I have a free training down below that's gonna give you how to set up the ad, the winning script, the video package offer that's an irresistible offer to any client, whether they're a new business, mid-business, or higher business. And also two, a secret play that we use to be able to have clients be able to afford our services and increase our conversion ratio, even if they don't have the funds right then and there, right? So again, I'm gonna leave that link down below. Enjoy it, something for free from me to you. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you on the next video.